Subject is any person, thing, anything that we are talking about. So whatsoever we are talking about, that thing is our subject, and what the action is being done, that is a verb. This is the most basic thing. We know that the basic ones are is-MR. What is is-MR? That is when we have singular entities, he, she, it, singular noun. Many people, they do call it third person singular. Third person means he. I don't know who he is. It means I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about myself as I'm talking about someone else. So he, she, it, or singular noun. What is a singular noun? Let's say Alicia. For example, Divya is talking with Jashan about me. I'm not there, right? I'm not her you as anymore. So if they're talking about me, they're talking like Alicia said that. Alicia is a teacher. So she's not there, third person singular. With I, we use am, and with plural, for example, we, they, you, and any other plural. Ma'am, what is any other plural? Let's say I'm giving you some example about Sakshi and Deepak. Deepak is Sakshi's husband, right? So if I'm giving you examples about them, so I will be saying Deepak and Sakshi are in Canada, right? So what is happening here? For plural entities, when we have more than one name or thing, we use are for them. Quite simple, mama. This is so simple. ये तो मुझे आता है. This is something so easy, no? It is easy, beta. But we also have to understand another point here, that let's say when we have singular nouns and we have singular verbs for them. What are singular nouns? If you see in this one, the one that I have just now highlighted, teacher. Teacher is singular or plural? Is it singular or plural?
Singular.
Singular. Very good. So the verb that we will use with it is teaches. Teacher teaches. Girl dances. It plays. Child runs. She eats. Alicia studies. What have I done here? What have I done here? I have simply put SES with these verbs because the nouns were singular, right? Similarly, when we talk about plural nouns, we use plural verb with them. Plural verb doesn't mean that there has to be S with the verb, because there is an S with the noun. So the plural verb is without any SES. For example, teachers, they teach. Girls, they dance. They play. Children run. We eat. Alicia and Rachna, they study. Here we have plural nouns, plural entities, and that's why my verb is without any S or ES. Am I clear with this point? I follow I. I means not I as in मैं वाला I. I here is I. I as a pronoun. Right? I. What does it follow? I follows the rules of any plural noun. For example, I study. It's not like I studies. Ma'am, why I is a singular entity? No, beta. In English being a royal language, I is taken as a plural entity. Hum. You know, many people in India also they call hum. They address themselves as hum. So hum doesn't mean that we are plural. There is another Alicia inside me. It means that I treat myself. This is my way of putting things. And English being a royal language, English being the language of the courtier people, that's why here I takes all these plural verbs. For example, I play, I eat, I dance, etc. With this one, I would like you to just make one similar thing, one singular noun, and put it with one singular word and frame a simple sentence using it quickly. I'm giving you 30 seconds to do that. Will you be able to do it?
Yes.
Just one simple sentence with...
Ma'am, with I?
No, beta, with singular nouns and singular verb, plural noun, plural verbs.
Given words, with given words.
Now, any other verb can also be used.
Okay, okay.
Very good. So, he plays football, perfect. It's a singular noun. He is singular, plays is his singular verb. Boys, Divya, boy plays cricket well, very good. There is a particular boy who plays cricket well. Boy is singular, plays is my singular verb. Anyone else would like to add anything to it quickly? Okay. So this is my first rule. My second rule says that the subject of the sentence is composed of two or more nouns or pronouns connected by and, just like I had done it here. Alicia and Rachna. There are two people here. Now, are we a singular entity or a plural entity? We are plural. Similarly, when we have subject of the sentence is composed of two things. Two things as in we have what? We have two people, right? The doctor and the student. The doctoral student and the committee members. So we are considering a lot of things here. First, the doctoral student and then the committee members write every day. Now, this one has become a plural entity because I am not just talking about the doctoral students, but also about the committee members. The percentage of employees who called in sick and the number of employees who left their jobs within 2 years. So there are two entities that I am considering. Sorry. There is a reason that bit I have considered this sentence. If you see the percentage of employees, first of all, there is one factor here, right? The percentage of employees. So there are some employees here. When I use the word who called in, what kind of sentence am I making here? What kind of sentence am I making here? Complex. Why complex? Because I have used who here, who called.
Who called?
And then I have used and. Can you see and? It means it is by conjunction. I am making it plural. Is it plural here?
Yes.
Yes. So and the number of employees who left their job. Again, I'm considering another thing that this is what. So how many entities am I considering in this case? I'm
Two.
considering two, right? So two entities we are considering. So are reflective of job satisfaction. So the level of job satisfaction that we have in any particular area. So this is the mistake, beta, that most of the people they make. What kind of mistake? They write the number of employees. So they say, ma'am, but the number is always you consider it as singular because we are talking about a number. No, beta, here I am also considering the percentage of employees, right, who called in sick. And then the number of employees who left this particular organization. So overall, it is a plural entity. And that's why, am I using is here or are here?
Are.
So for any time we have this plural thing, we use are. Now, one subject and more than one verb. This is again one of the most common and most anticipated error that we have, especially in the amongst the IELTS students or anywhere where writing is concerned. Not just IELTS, even in self-pep, TOEFL. I had this a student of mine. She also makes the same mistake, and this is one of the reasons that in place of getting 24 or 25 in TOEFL writing, many students they get 19 or 20 because this is one of the most common errors. The verb throughout the sentence must agree with the word. What is the verb throughout the sentence? If you see here, interviews are one way to collect the data. So here I am talking about interviews. Interviews is singular or plural? Lakveer, interviews beta singular. Is it singular or plural? Interviews. Lakveer. Pritpal, interviews is singular or plural beta? Where are they? Pritpal? It is interviews singular and plural. Plural. Are one way to collect data, and then there is another thing that these interviews are doing. Allow researchers. So it's not allows. Why not allows? Because my verb, the second verb also has to agree with my interviews part. Okay. Another one is, for example, here an assumption. So how many assumptions do we have? One or more?
One.
So if this one is, no matter what is here, sometimes we also use any other thing here, is an important consideration. Doesn't matter what we are talking about. Is this sentence a complex sentence or not? Justin, is this sentence a complex sentence? Yes or no?
Ma'am, this is a complex.
Very good. This is a complex sentence because we have used when here. So although this as might not give you a complex sentence, but this when is definitely giving you a complex.
Ma'am, in this sentence we have used and also, so will it be a complex compound also?
Complex compound sentence. But beta, in IELTS, as I told you earlier as well, when I will be marking your scripts, we will be counting the number of complex sentences together. I will not be bifurcating the complex and the complex compound sentences, because the purpose of complex compound sentence is to develop to give or present a fully developed statement. But many times what happens is that when we try to do that, we tend to make more mistakes. So even if you are making a good number of complex sentences, it is completely acceptable. Okay.
Okay.
Next is when we have a phrase comes between the subject or verb. Now, this is another factor, another thing that happens when we are studying about it. How another thing can come up. Remember that a verb has still to agree. For example, if I'm saying the student as well as the committee members. So if you see this as well as part, have I given it in like between the commas? See this part. Have I given it in the commas? See, before it there is a comma, after this there is a comma. It means this is the extra piece of information that I am presenting here. So what is my main verb? Main subject. About what? About whom am I talking?
Student. The
Yes,
student.
I'm talking about a specific student. Now this student is excited. Writing about as well as the committee members is basically that I'm giving some extra piece of information. Next is the student with all the master's degree is. So here we are not talking about the degrees. We are simply talking about the students. The student. There is only one student here. So in this case as well, if you consider this thing, the word degrees is not important. Basically, I'm talking only and only about what? About this student. So this has to agree with this. And this has no role to play otherwise. Okay, so you have to be very careful when you do that. Many people, many students, the moment they find that degrees, they write R. This is one of the most common errors that we have in IELTS. Next is, another rule is when two or more similar nouns. Now this word is very important. Very important is, I know, ma'am, you are using the word very. You ask us not to use the word very. Here I'm using just to emphasize it in your language and to tell you that why this word singular nouns is important. This is, now we are coming to the important and a little more technical rules of subject verb agreement. For example, if you see there are two people here. How many people do we have? Two. Can you name them? Yes, ma'am. You are talking about some chairperson or the CEO. But they are connected with what? Or are they connected with or? Yes.
Yeah.
Are these two entities singular? Yes. So what kind of verb will we be using here? Singular verb. Why singular verb? Any particular reason for that? Ma'am, because either of them will be doing this. Either the chairman approves the proposal or the CEO. Both of them are not doing it. And you have not used and here. You are giving us a choice. For example, the mother or the father dash to accompany the child. Either of them has to come. Both of them are not required. So what is your answer? Has or have?
Has.
Has. Why? Because ma'am, has is singular. Are we clear with this point? Now, if you are clear with this point, just remember this point. This is important, really important. Now, the next one is when compound subject contains both singular and plural. Now, there are two types of nouns I'm using. One is singular, another one is plural. Then which one will be there, ma'am? Then what we will use? Again, you are putting this, but in place of that, the student or the committee members, here the committee members and the students, or the students. So these are connected with what? Or, right? They're
Yes.
connected with what? Or. But can you see that here I have used two different verbs? Here I have used write, here I have used writes. Can you tell me why? Anyone who can tell me why?
Ma'am, because it
सेकंड वाला
depends.
जो है वो उस
Yeah.
पे डिपेंड करेगा.
Committee members and the student. It depend. Verb is directly depend on that.
Okay. Sakshi, what are you saying, bete? Right.
मैम यही बोल रही थी भी जो बाद वाला है उस पर डिपेंड करेगा, अगर वो प्लूरल है तो उस अकॉर्डिंग, सिंगुलर है तो उस अकॉर्डिंग।
बिल्कुल. So this is the verb which is in the proximity. जो पहले जो उसके पास होगा, right? The one which is nearer to my subject will be the one that will decide it. So the student or the committee members, because committee members is coming after, so it has to agree with this one. The student, so here we have singular, so it will be rights. So the one which is in the close proximity of my subject. Are we clear with this point? Beta, this is important. So Divya, yesterday or day before yesterday, I don't remember the script, but you had made this error. And this
Okay.
error should not be there, right? It leads to a lot of band reduction because we feel like that, wow, the student is making such basic mistakes.
Okay.
Next is countable nouns. They take, sorry, non-countable nouns. They take what kind of verb? Singular. There is a video that I had posted on Instagram a few days back, how to differentiate between countable and uncountable nouns. What are countable nouns? Things which we can count. For example, the number of pens I have in my hand. But what I can't count, what is something that is beyond this, is the ink. Can you tell me, ma'am, there is one ink in your pen? There is some. So things that we cannot count in numbers, but there are definitely units, different units for them as well. So, but in quantity, we call them non-countable or uncountable nouns, right? I'll use the word uncountable because that is more popular here for us. This is now education. Can you count how much education do you have? No. Education is the key. Can you say I have one education? No. Diabetes. Can we count diabetes? Information. Time and again, I keep on telling you there can be a piece of information. There can be some information, but there cannot be one information or two informations. In fact, there is no word for informations. Research. Again, deliberately I have put up here. A research, people write a research was conducted. Research was conducted, beta, you cannot count it. The moment you put a in place of the, it means you are trying to make it countable. And we cannot count or say ki ek research hui thi. There cannot be one research. Research itself is uncountable. Are we clear with this point? Anyone having any doubt in this one? This is really important. These are again common errors that we have. Anyone?
Ma'am, with student we can apply write the or
Yeah, it depends. If you are talking about a particular student, then it is the student. A student means one student. For example, there is a student in my class. Her name is Jannat, right? A student. एक बच्चा है मेरी क्लास में जिसका नाम जन्नत है. The student. Now I am talking about this particular student only. So that's why we use the before it. Okay. I will be teaching determiners as well. Don't worry. Now there are some countable nouns as well. Countable nouns in English as in which are countable, but they do follow the same rule. For example, earnings, goods, odds, surroundings, needs, content, valuables. They only have their plural forms. I cannot say that, ma'am, I have one earning. We have some earnings. So even if my earning is countable, we use it as in its plural form. For example, the earnings of this quarter exceed expectations. The proceeds from the sale go to support this thing. Locally produced goods have the advantage of shorter supply chain. So all these words, they are, although their singular forms do exist, we use them only in what form? In its plural form. It is a rule. Now see, so far I have kept on telling you the rules, but here and something that you had to only understand. But in this case, there is something that you need to remember. So for this one, you take a screenshot and you can remember these 5-7 words. Okay. Now the next rule. What is the next rule? Beta jab bhi, whenever we have this there are or any such thing, right? In such sentences. For example, in this one, what do we have? There are, there is. So my actual verb, actual subject comes after my verb. For example, there is little administrative support. So far, what was happening, if you see this example, these examples, this one, anyone, my subject used to come before my verb. वर्ब बाद में आ रहा है ना, ये देखो यहाँ पे भी वर्ब सब तरफ बाद में आया है, यहाँ पे भी हमारा वर्ब हर तरफ बाद में आया है, और मेरा सब्जेक्ट पहले आता है. बट इस केस में whenever we have this there are, there is, it means first my verb will be there and then my subject will come into picture. Are we clear with this point? Thoda sa. If we are, try to make a sentence out of it. Frame a sentence using this thing. Quickly, hurry up. Frame a sentence by using there is or there are. I don't think so. It's a tough one to do. It's quite easy. Try it.
There are several disadvantages of this topic.
Very good. There are several disadvantages. So what is my subject in this sentence, Jannat?
Disadvantages.
Very good. Disadvantages is my subject. I'm talking about the disadvantages. But R has come prior to that. So I don't think so that you will be making an error here, but still there are many things to do in a short period of time. Okay, in short time. Right? So what is my subject here? Things to do. Things is my this thing. So this is something I think I also need to write it in bold. Right? Why? Because this is again one of the most anticipated errors, and I don't know why students they keep on repeating them. Why do they do that? Beta, anything that has one after it, each one, either, neither, everyone, everybody, anyone, anybody, no one, nobody, someone, somebody, right? All these words, are they singular or plural? They all are
Singular.
Singular.
singular, beta. All of them are singular. See, I am highlighting it so much. So if they are singular, what kind of verb will agree with it? Singular or plural?
Singular. Sorry, yes.
So each of the participants, see, okay, one more thing I would like to highlight, and there is one thing that is missing, the word one also. What is one here? For example, you write one of my dash. Is it one of my friend or one of my friends?
Friend.
Friends.
Friends. It has to be one of my friends.
Friend.
So out of many friends, I'm talking about just one. This rule also, the off rule also I will be talking about, but one also, it means in this case, this is my subject. I'm talking about one, only one friend. So in this case, one of my friends dash a teacher. So what will your answer be?
Is.
My answer is because I'm talking about just one friend. It doesn't mean that ma'am yahan to aapne friends use kiya hai. But beta, what are we talking about? Am I talking about all of my friends? No. Am I talking about only one of them? Yes. Okay. So each of the participants, how many participants am I talking here? Only one. Each one. Kalla kalla. Ek bacha. Each one. Each of the participants was neither, koi bhi nahi, zero, right? Neither, koi nahi. And even in your language, many students, they have this tendency of using translation method. Even for them, let me tell you one thing, that everyone, everybody, right? Whenever we talk about such things, so neither means koi bhi nahi aayega, not koi bhi nahi aayenge, right? If you have that tendency, then you can work on this part. I will offer a $5 gift card to everybody. Everybody is again singular, so who participates? No one is singular, so was available for the meeting. So this is another important thing. Now we also have another thing, we call them collective nouns. Anyone who can tell me what are collective nouns? What are collective nouns?
Which represent a group of people. Or
very perfect, Jashan. These are the ones which represent, these words, they represent a group of something, right? For example, in this case, sometimes we use about a group, a committee, right? Then we can have a flock of birds. So anything that has a group there. So because now we are talking about this, for example, this class is, now in this class right now we are 7-8 people present. Others, those who are sleeping early in the morning, they can sleep, their call. But otherwise, these 7 students, even if there are 7 students here, there is only one class. So the class is going on. The class is studying. Right now, we are talking ourselves as a collective noun, as a singular entity. Family, group, team, committee, class, right? All these things, they are singular. Now, a subject. This thing is again important thing. Just like what I have mentioned right now, one of my friends, right? Similarly, if I'm talking about a bouquet of yellow roses, so is it lend or lends? A bouquet. Am I talking about a bouquet or am I talking about yellow roses? Which one is my subject?
Bouquet.
Bouquet is my subject, right? I have already put it in bold also. So my bouquet is my subject here. So what is happening here? So a bouquet of, whenever we have this word of here, so your subject comes before this one, a bouquet of yellow roses. I'm not talking about yellow roses, but I'm talking about just the bouquet. So the word should be lends. These bouquets. Now, how many bouquets do I have? More than one. So what is my main subject here? These bouquets. So lend. Are we clear with this point? Can you frame a sentence by using this of rule? You need to use any group word or maybe a singular entity, anything where we are using of with our subject. Quickly frame a sentence and show that you have already understood it. Hurry up, beta.
The family of my friend went to for movie.
The family of my friend. But in this case, both of them were singulars. No, family is also singular. Of your
Yeah.
friend is also singular. Definitely, it will be a singular thing. Anywhere where we can have a combination like this. One is singular, another one is plural. One is plural, another one is also plural.
Okay.
But your sentence otherwise is right. Chandra, it's correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Quickly, we are running a little short of time. Okay, never mind. You can post it in the group later. Now there is another one. Another one is, in this one, what are we doing? The verb in either or, neither nor. They have to again agree with the pronoun or noun that is closest to it. Can you see that? Closest to it. For example, neither the serving bowl. Okay, beta, what is the pronunciation of this word that I have written here? What is the pronunciation of this word? B-O-W-L. How do you pronounce this word?
Bowl.
Bowl. Many Indians they pronounce it as bowl, which is incorrect. So neither the serving bowl nor
Can you repeat?
pardon.
Can you repeat, please?
Beta, the pronunciation of B-O-W-L is bowl and not bowl.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are talking about two things. We are talking about a serving bowl and we are talking about our plates. Which one is nearer to my main verb? Go here. Which one is nearer? Plates. So it has to agree with this one. But had this thing been like neither the plates nor the serving bowl. Now again, what is happening here? This one is nearer. Bowl is nearer to my verb. So it has to agree with this. So when it comes to neither nor, either or, not only but also, all such parallel sentences, what do we do? The one that is nearer to my second one, the thing, the noun or the pronoun that is in proximity, in which is the closest one to my verb has to agree with it, right? For example, this one. This sentence is really important and I want all of you to quickly frame a sentence by using either or neither nor, and you have to use one singular noun and one plural noun. Quickly, without wasting time. I will be giving you 30 seconds to do that. Your time has already started.
Neither me nor my teammates are going for vacation.
Okay, the sentence is right, although beta, it's not neither I nor my team members are going. Okay, and Jannat, if I reverse that sentence, can you answer this? You have framed this sentence, you said, and I am changing it a little. Time's up. Others, beta, I haven't received the message, your sentence. Neither my teammates
Nor me.
nor I, never me, beta, me is an object
Okay, okay.
going to the party. Now what your answer will be? Good question, Jannat, but what your answer will be here?
R.
No.
It's
Will be.
M. I am going to the party.
Yes, it's
I
am.
am.
It has to agree with the closest pronoun or noun. But in place of neither nor, there would have been and. Now this complete thing becomes my plural entity, right? Now the answer can be R. In fact,
Okay.
Is this sentence correct, ma'am, which I made in the chapter?
either coach or the players play the game. Yes. Although technically the coach seldomly plays, but it's okay. The sentence is fine. The English part is okay.
Okay.
Correct. Right? After this one, we have another rule. And here we have sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by such words like along with, as well as, just like we had done it earlier, besides, not, etc., and etc. Right? This one should be here. Sorry. So this is my rule. So when it is separated, what is separated here? My subject. What I am talking about is different from what is being talked about. How are we segregating? And this is again beta star market. Let me arrange this one a little so that you people can take a screenshot of it, because it is important. And I would like you to take a screenshot as well. Another anticipated error. What happens many times, even in your IELTS exam, what you will be doing is you will be putting up in your writing task some examples or some things where you have to include something else. For example, the politician along with the newsman. Now, am I talking about the newsman or am I talking about the politician? Which one is my subject? नेताजी आ रहे हैं बहुत सारे रिपोर्टर्स के साथ. So, क्या होगा? What your answer will be? Which one is your subject?
Politician.
Politician.
Politician is your subject, right? So your verb has to agree with the politician. The politician along with the newsman. Again, beta, you need to notice one thing, that I also, anytime I give any extra piece of information, I give it in between two commas, just like I have given it here. The politicians. Now, am I talking about politicians or one singular entity or a plural entity?
Plural.
I'm talking about politicians along with the leader. But my main subject is the politicians and not the leader. So the politicians along with the leader are expected. Because again, whenever we use along with, whenever we use as well as, now this as well as is different from your previous as well as. Normally, what do you use is, 1 second. But my screen is visible to you people?
Yes.
The subject verb, this thing, right? The politician screen is visible to you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why I'm getting this message, resume sharing, while I'm already sharing. Okay. So then we have joy and excitement. Joy and excitement. Is it a singular entity or a plural entity?
Plural.
Plural. As well as nervousness. But my main subject is joy and excitement. So we need to be careful about it. The next one is the last one. Last rule is, whenever we are talking about distances, whenever this screen is again visible, right? The distance period of time screen is visible to you?
Yes.
Okay, then I think there is some other technical glitch. Distances, period of time, sums of money, etc. when considered as a complete unit. So it is a singular verb. For example, 3 miles. Here I am not talking about 3 miles. I'm talking about the distance. 3 miles is too far to walk. We have compiled it. Now it has become more of a singular noun, singular subject. 1 mile is also a distance. In both cases, I'm talking about the distance. 5 years is the maximum sentence for that offense. 1 year is. So in these cases, beta, you need to be very careful that these things are considered as singular units. For example, $10 were scattered, right? $10 means were scattered. $1, $2, $3 bill, although there can't be two. For example, if I have 10 rupees were scattered. Maybe there was one 5 rupees coin, there was another 1 rupee coin, there was another 2 rupee coins, right? Earlier we used to have the 2 rupee coin, now it's not that common. But this is what I'm talking about, the dollar bills. I'm talking about the currency donations. But if I say the price is of $10, $10 is the price. Here I'm talking about the price and not about the quantity. I would like to check your understanding, and I will be giving you 10 seconds. 10 to chalo kam ho jayega. 20 seconds for each question. And what you need to do is simply write the answer that you find correct in your notebook. Shall we start? Shall we start? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, so for every screen, I will be staying on that screen for 20. Chalo, maximum I can give you 23 seconds to read, because there are 1 to 2 questions which are a little lengthy. In your notebooks, you will be writing the answer you think is right. And in the end, we will be checking how many of them were correct. Shall we start? 1, 2, 3, start. Okay, everyone has done all the 10 questions. You have all,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
let's
Yes.
check how many of them were right.
First A, second A, third.
Anyone who got 10 out of 10? Very good. Keep it up, Sakshi. So next time, if you're writing something and in your script, I write SVA, it means what kind of error have you made? A subject verb agreement error. And this is the error you should not be making. So today, the new candidates, the new students, they will be framing 35 complex sentences using all the 35 body conjunctions which are given in your notes. So you need to do that. And here are 10, like this one, subject verb agreement we have already done. In case you have any doubts, just let me know and we are good to go. Right? Today we will be doing this part only because I think that this is something that might sound easier, but your brain needs some time to actually contemplate over it, to ponder, and then further in implementation also it takes some time. So just work on this part and I will be sharing the topic for today in the group. Are we good to go?
Ma'am, can I see the second question? Actually, this is wrong of mine.